Yo, listen. Um, I believe I got shut the fuck down. Now, here's what I'm going to have to do now in an effort to keep it up. Damn. I thought the fair use shit was gonna work. I thought if I did fair use and all that bullshit, like, what's the point of that if it don't even work? Like, what the fuck is the point? I don't get it. So now we back in here. Hold on. Let me give people time to come into the live. Let me. I mean, come on, yo. Come on, yo. We was rolling. I don't know if they're going to delete the entire stream that I had that I was doing. They may. I don't know. God damn. Some bullshit. What's up, Leticia? What's up, man? Hold on. Let me come back out and give people a second to get in here. Should I just play the sound? Is it the video that's fucking everything up, or should I just do audio now? Or is that an issue too? Like, I guess they got me. Naps TV talking about what happened. TBC got you. I don't know who got me, but somebody did. Somebody must have gotten me. Play the sound at 2 times speed. Okay, let me see. Let me try to orchestrate that. How do I do that? Playback speed. Okay. Now we're going to listen to Alvin and the Chipmunks talk. Let me see how that sounds. 2 times speed. I ain't never did that shit. Let me see what that even sound like. Let me go back a little bit and see what 2 times speed sound like. Fast as a bitch. Thanks for the idea, Naps TV. Let me see. Let me see if that works.
There's like 90% of their waking time. They're hardly ever going to.
That's too fast. Jill Stein already talks pretty fast. Hold on, let me go back. She already talks pretty fast. Let me go try maybe 1.5. Let's see what that do.
Town hall meetings. I mean, we've been out there on the campaign trail, and when we mention this, we get nods all around the room, especially from the opponents of genocide.
Can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? Yeah, I put it at 1.5 naps. Let me know if y'all can hear that, because we're gonna finish out the other half. They may, completely remove the first half of this. They may completely remove from YouTube completely. I would hope not, but maybe they will. I don't know. Again, I don't understand the purpose of a fair use. What's the purpose of doing and saying all that shit if they're just going to strike your shit down anyway? I don't get that. I'm not trying to make money off of this at all. Y'all know there's no monetization on this channel, so it's not about me trying to make money off of it. I'm just giving a commentary about what's being said. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll play this thing, no video. We'll play it at half speed or 1.5 speed, because where we were at Angela Rye being a Democratic shield that she is. She can't help herself, trying to act as though they need all these support in the House to get things done. But let me go back just a little bit where we were, just to get back to a good position here where we listen to the Chipmunks. You said they will? Damn, they will what, Marshana? They will delete the whole fucking video? Damn. They gonna delete my whole fucking video. That's trash. Quite honestly. That is some trash, but what can you do, right? So let's just keep going here. And I'll know next time to maybe do it like this from the beginning. If this works, I mean, they may shut me down again. I don't know. And then either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, we're going to do that live. Your girl Kamala did a live, I guess, interview with the National Association of Black Journalists. I want to go over that as well. I will try to make it unlisted from Patreon. I will try to do that. But again, I don't even know if... Hold on real quick. Let me try this. Let me just check something really quickly before we even get back into it. I'll hurry up and make it unlisted now if it's actually still up on my channel. Let me see. Yep, hold on. Hold on. Let me hurry up and make it unlisted. Hold on, y'all. I know y'all don't want to just be patient with me 1 second. Let me just hurry up and make my video unlisted. That way, they can't try to come back and get me. Let me make it unlisted. Hold on. Let me make it unlisted real quick so that way maybe that'll save me. And what I'll do is I'll upload it onto Patreon. So if you want to see the first half of this, it'll be over on the Patreon. I'll upload that over there. I'll be putting content over there anyway. So the link to join my Patreon is in the description box. Nothing expensive, nothing crazy. But I just made it unlisted, so hopefully they'll leave me the fuck alone if I make it unlisted, because I just did. And I'm going to put the first half of this up on Patreon. And what we'll do now is just do the Alvin and Chipmunks thing through this. So we're just going to do audio, so there's no smoke. Let's see.
The defense, I'm just saying this because the Hill is my passion. That's where I grew up as a professional, right? How many of them are Green Party members?
Okay, I know where you're going with
I'm
this.
not going
You're
anywhere.
attempting to show that the Greens are powerless. I want to make the point.
I was not
that
trying
one
to
out
show
of
you're
every,
powerless.
well, this is usually part of that argument.
What was the
to say
point you
we
were
don't
trying to
have.
make? What was the point?
I'm going to
Before you
This is where we were. Basically, she's trying to play her like, Gia, basically, I've seen this playbook before. Y'all always trying to use this saying we ain't got no power.
Dr. Stein, what was the point?
I want to know how many voting members of the Green Party in the House or the Senate currently exist.
Currently, there are none. However, if you look at the American people, how many are voting against the genocide? Hardly any. How many are voting for healthcare as a human right, which would actually save us $500 billion a year? We, the people, are not represented. So not being there is not a strike against the Green Party.
Okay, and that's fine. How many of them right now, based on, and I called it a wish list, it wasn't to be offensive, is I have a wish list too, I got one in the ideal man I want to.
It's dismissive. It's a political party.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
It is dismissive. We established that. It is dismissive to call it a wish list.
But what I'm saying is, it's not dismissive. Hear my heart, right? I heard your heart on the mispronouncing of Kamala. Hear my heart.
All right.
Because there are none that currently exist, that means you got to have allies.
Oh,
Who are your
absolutely.
allies in the House and Senate?
Excellent
to help
question.
See, if y'all would have
Yes.
just slowed down a minute, y'all had guns blazing.
I thought it was a healthy conversation.
Right? Like, come on, we got to do basic
Child,
math.
please let me finish. You weren't talking to me when you said that.
But how many who are the allies? Can you name some of your allies in the House and the Senate that would help to get this very aggressive agenda done?
So let me tell you how the agenda would get done.
Yes.
For one thing, we
Can you
need...
name some
Let
of your
her
allies?
answer the.
Yeah.
I don't need allies, ho. See, they can't talk plain like that. I don't need allies to get my shit done. Let me tell you how it's going to get done. Not the way you want me to tell you how to get done. Let me tell you how it's going to get done.
That's my question. I want my
Sure,
question.
and then we'll get
Names.
Yes.
talk about this.
So what I want to speak to specifically is town hall meetings, which used to require representatives to meet their districts. They don't do that anymore. They meet with their donors. Well, they largely meet with their donors.
That's not
They're
fair.
meeting with their donors like 90% of their waking time.
Quit
They're hardly
lying,
ever
Angela.
going to town hall meetings. I mean, we've been out there on the campaign trail, and when we mention this, we get nods all around the room, especially from the opponents of genocide, or from those who are demanding health care as a human right, or from those who want rent control across the country so that we can actually have secure housing in this country. There are so many things that the American people are demanding, but our elected officials are accountable to their donors. So you have got a catch-22 here. You have a very difficult system to change. How do you change it? And it only changes in a crisis. When did the third party come along? That is, it was the Republican Party, which was the abolitionist party. It entered into the scene, basically right before the Civil War, and they had been preparing for it, running, and before the Republicans, there were other other abolitionist parties. But it's a long road to get there, and you have to work to get there. And and then suddenly they burst on the scene when the time was right. And right now we know that the American people are clamoring for other options. The other options, like namely us, we are the major option on the ballot across the country. We are being denied airtime. We're being censored. We're being silenced. We're being canceled effectively, very much by an explicit plan through the Democratic Party, which they've actually been explicit about.
I understand that, and you've repeated that today, Dr. Stein. What I'm trying to say is, with the the very aggressive agenda you have, I said to you all, I agree with a lot of what you have there. What I'm talking about is, as a political strategist,
let me tell you,
and see, this is how they try to overcomplicate things. She's basically telling you, look, I noticed that the cards are stacked against us, but we got ways to get this shit done. Angela Rock comes in talking about as a political strategist, which is just a long way to say as a complete and utter fucking bullshitter who believes that this system can't get anything done whatsoever without being in the pocket of big money. You're going to have to acknowledge that anytime you talk about the system, if you're a political strategist, then you know that lobbying, which should be illegal, is what runs both parties. Big money runs both parties. This is an oligarchy. This is a plutocracy. You need to drill that home anytime you having a conversation with a Democrat or Republican. Because look, while y'all talking about how real this shit is, I'm telling you who the fuck is pulling the strings. Okay? I understand that I am in this situation, for lack of a better example, this is some David and Goliath shit, and we are David. I get that. This is Goliath, actually. So this be more of Goliath, and we David. Okay? Y'all both my ops. But right now, my slingshot is pointed towards the fucking Democrats because they bringing the most smoke. Okay? Goliath number 2, which is the Republicans, they're just silly and goofy, and Donald Trump is a clown. But they just sitting there. They're not trying to hold me back. So right now, my slingshot is for y'all. And to continue to come through here and tell us that we can't get anything done at all without support from different members of the House of Representatives, that's bullshit. There are things you can get done on the presidential level that you don't need no help with. We can start there. Basically what she's saying. And of course we hear Angela talking about a goddamn political strategist. Girl, shut up.
Agenda you have. I said to you all, I agree with a lot of what you have there. What I'm talking about is, as a political strategist,
let me tell you, on day one, let me tell you, on day one, we stopped the genocide. Okay,
there's a lot.
So there's a lot that
I'm trying, but I can't get an answer to my
question.
No.
Your question, however, denies the power that the president has as the executive. The president has a fair amount of executive authority to actually begin the process. So that process begins with stopping the genocide.
Y'all heard that? The president has more power than y'all be sitting around here acting like the president ain't got no power. Ain't nothing the president can do at all. That's not real. That's not real at all. Hold on, I'm trying to do something real quick. Let me see if I can get this to work. Because I at least want to get this up here. They trying to hold me back. Hold on. I want to at least get this up here. So that way, I want her silly ass face up here. Looking like a damn clown. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, let me try to figure. I'm gonna try to get this on here. No, that ain't gonna work like that. Watch this. Maybe it'll work like this. Yeah. I want her silly ass face up there. Matter of fact, hold on, let me go over here. That's what I'll do. I'll share the screen just to have her face on here. Hold on, y'all. I know this is childish, and I shouldn't even be engaging in this type of behavior as an adult. And that's a good argument that y'all can make, and y'all really could levy against me right now if you wanted to. Y'all could really levy that against me. Like, Rob, you are supposed to be an adult. Why are you conducting yourself in such a childish fashion? That would be an argument I couldn't beat right now. But hold on, let me get this. I'm gonna put this picture up over here. We're gonna have this just sitting here. Hold on. I'm talking about childish as fuck. And it really don't make no damn sense to be this childish, because I don't have to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? There is no need to be this childish. But I at least want this still up. Because she looks so fucking funny to me. Like, you an op, yo. You a op. I at least want that showing. Maybe I can get that to show over the, she a fucking op, yo. Hold on, let me see if I can do that. Nope. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to share the screen. Fuck. Okay, I can't make it work. And I ain't about to sit here all night and try to make it work too. Let me take this back off because they ain't gonna let us do this. But as you can hear, Angela is going to constantly, and I mean constantly, always try to make it seem as though there is nothing anybody can do. Let me just get me out the screen for a minute. I can at least do that. She'll try to make it seem like there's nothing anybody can do, right? That's who she is. That's how she conducts herself. She's going to try to make it seem like it's impossible. But listen, it's not impossible.
Day one, which happens with a phone call. It's happened before. This absolutely will happen, especially if we invoke the weapons embargo.
So would you say that you don't need allies?
On issues where you have executive authority, what you need are allies among the people, but you don't need the votes in Congress for much of this agenda.
You heard her. What you need is allies amongst the people. You do not need members of Congress. You have executive power in certain cases.
Declare a climate emergency, which we have. The Colorado River is about to shut down. We got people dying from heat, from...
Basically, I'll be, as the president, I'll declare certain emergencies that will give me the power to do what the fuck I want. Is it all the way right? Maybe not, but this is where we are. She'll say she'll declare a climate emergency and run it up, basically, if she need to.
Inadequate food supply. People can't afford their food. Yet,
Absolutely.
The major source of food in the U.S. Is in deep trouble right now. The Colorado River is within 1 to 2 years of shutting down. That supplies the California agriculture system. It's drought. It cannot get into the system. It can no longer get through the outlets coming out of Lake Mead, which is where you have this big reservoir. It's almost too low to make it into the irrigation system to reach many states, but especially California agriculture, which supplies half of the fruits and vegetables for the U.S. So you think food prices are bad right now? Just wait a year or two. They're going to be in real trouble. So we would declare a climate emergency, which there absolutely is right now. We just had over 100 days of over 100-degree weather in Phoenix. We got weather conditions that have never happened before. We're in serious jeopardy, not to mention the storms and drought and the trouble for farmers and all that. So we declare the climate emergency, and that immediately triggers the release of over $500 billion every year in emergency funding to begin creating that Green New Deal. That is an emergency jobs program. So no worker is left behind.
So you tell me the president could do that right now?
Yes, it could do that right now. That could happen right now. And if I could just add something that our brilliant and talented campaign manager, Jason Call, who happens to be in the room with us, I don't know if cameras want to pan to him. So when we were having this conversation last night after a similarly robust conversation with Mehdi Hassan, we made the point, and Jason was the one that brought this into the conversation, that if we do land that knockout punch, that Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston knockout punch, and we manage to get 34% of the electoral college votes in this country, right? And we go from the 5%.
It's 34% of the vote, the actual votes, which would then translate into a majority of the electoral college.
Yeah, I'm going to say you should know. Electoral college, you're not going to get theirs, my boy. But popular vote, you can get.
Thank you for correcting the historian, because we've got a brilliant policy mind here, and I'm still new to this, and happy to be corrected by both family, and new family.
And likewise.
Yes, exactly.
Too humble,
so
my
the
nigga.
point is, though, is that
Cool.
if we move from that 5%, that we feel is basically assured at this point in time, that will lead to 10 million in federal funding to run the next election, so that we're not chasing, behind. If we have moved to the point where Jill is able to make that phone call, that we've moved from that 5% to that 34%, that will mean that there is a profound mandate that comes from the American people with that office. That means that yes, you might have these, intransigent, entrenched positions on both teams blue and team red, but what it will mean is that they will have to respond in a different way to Team Green if we have that kind of popular mandate. And that's why we're trying to take the case of the American people. We might fall short in making that case. They may never show us their chin where we get to throw that knockout punch. But in the meantime, we are able to consolidate power that can be utilized in the next electoral cycle and in subsequent electoral cycles to give the American people a genuine choice rather than just the two gangbangers.
But when you talk about a threat to democracy, like Donald Trump is, right? We can all agree.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
What if, because of y'all,
Now, when they talking about Charlemagne basically saying, when you talk about a threat to democracy, you basically talk about Donald Trump, right? He should have said him and y'all, both them.
So he ended up winning, and then there is no more democracy for y'all to even have a chance to be a threat in the future.
Yeah, so
It's a good question.
So yes, I mean, Trump is out front, in interfering with the peaceful transfer of power. So a real threat to democracy. The Democrats on their end don't get a lot of, they're not held accountable for this, but they are throwing their competitors off the ballot in advance of the election.
Did they really hire a bunch of lawyers?
Oh yeah,
for 3
yes, we can send you the articles if you like in the Washington Post and the New York Times.
Oh, yeah, I read
They're
them.
bragging, actually. They're bragging not only about the consequences, but even when their plan was launched back in March, they are bragging that they have hired an army of lawyers basically to find faults in our in our petitions, in our electoral process of getting on the ballot. So we have screenshots of their ads, which they have since taken down, but they actually have ads advertising for people to manage infiltrators and spies into our campaigns. And then they actually did hijack $300,000 in our public funding, which we critically needed for the timing of ballot access. And that's why, for example, we missed Oklahoma, because we didn't have the cash on hand to be able to pay the fee, which is what Oklahoma requires. So yeah, they are pulling out all the stops. And then they have, I'm sure AOC was being an attack dog there, because she was put up to some ridiculous story which really did not hold water, and I think was really quite embarrassing to her at the end of the day. Before her, it was Jamie Harrison, the head of the DNC, who was.
Somebody asked why they're talking so fast. I sped it up because they took down my other stream that I was showing video on, and they were talking. So we're doing this way, no video, sped up sound, or sped up. And she already, like I said, she already talks fast. So, we sped the sound up just to keep me from being banned or keep them from flagging my video. So I apologize. I'm going to pause and explain the stuff that they're saying anyway. A lot of it is fluff. A lot of it is political. They're just talking. But I'll pause and explain things as we go through here.
Was trying to smear me about being a Russian agent. Well, that was long put to rest by the Senate Intelligence Committee, which looked into that smear campaign for 3 years. Actually, I had a detailed investigation by the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Where that came from, Dr. Stein, given the fact that you were sitting at the head table with Vladimir Putin next to Michael Flynn, who was literally
not next to Michael Flynn. Not
at
next
the
to.
same table.
He was at
the head
the table
with National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who was found to have.
And here come Angela Rye back on attack dog status, now about to claim that Jill is in cahoots with Russia. Now, I did a little research on this when I saw this part, and this has been debunked. A long time ago, and Angela Rye should have known that. She has a fucking computer sitting right in front of her. No excuse for this.
So, do you know what
Russia in the 2016 election? And just months
do you know
after
what my message was?
Your election.
Do you know what my message was?
What I understand from what you said is that you weren't able to give that message because there was no one to translate
that message. But I was a major speaker at the conference. What you saw was a photo from the dinner afterwards.
Were you at the head table with Vladimir Putin, Dr.
Vladimir Putin came in and sat down for 10 minutes without translators.
With you.
Yeah, well, not with me. On the other side, the only person I could actually talk to, because there was so much noise and music and entertainment going on, the only person I could get a word in edgewise to was the former foreign minister for Germany, Willy Wimmer, who was sitting on my right. On my left.
Your speech too.
And my speech, made 3 points. My speech made 3 points. One is that we needed an immediate peace offensive in the Middle East, and that Vladimir Putin needed to stop bombing Syria, which he had just begun doing. I told him that he was following in the footsteps of U.S. foreign policy, which was a disaster by way of trying to bomb our way to peace in the Middle East. The second point was that we need a global Green New Deal because we have a crisis that impacts all of us. We need to move our money from the military to actually confronting our true, real threat to our survival, the climate. And the third thing being we need to get rid of.
Whoa, now Jill, hold on, Jill. I got to stop you there. Hold on. She said we need to take the money from the military to attack the other thing that's, I guess, a big issue, the number one issue with our people or with people, and that's the climate. Now, if we listen to the other live I did, they already are giving $1 trillion to climate change initiatives. $1 trillion per year for clean energy. She's saying take money from the military and attack this climate situation. One things I will say about the fucking climate situation is that you can't stop the climate from climating. Okay? Like, if that's not a real, climating is not a real word. So don't y'all try to be extra with me about it. But understand what I'm saying. Trying to stop the climate from climating is a very idea that HARP, this government that uses these weather modification, it's that very idea that y'all can change some of this shit. Chemtrails, block the sun, HARP, control the weather. You're not going to be able to stop the motherfucking rain. Okay? You're not going to be able to stop the rain. Okay? When they talk about global warming, I always want to know what measure or standard they're using, because if you study, and I'm talking about we talking about geology and the weather, meteorology, historically, I'm talking about throughout time, what y'all have explained is that there can be bizarre acts that can wipe out entire civilizations. This is how y'all explain what happened to the dinosaurs with the ice age. Okay? What if the climate is back to basically getting to where it needs to be? I'm not saying it is, okay? I'm not saying I don't have good arguments, but what I am saying is I don't think there's nothing y'all gonna be able to do outside of stopping the pollution, which y'all don't really have much interest in stopping at all. Outside of doing that, I don't think there's much anybody can do. And that has to be a worldwide initiative. That just can't be something that takes place here in America. It just can't be. That have to be the world. That'd have to be something they discuss at these, when they have these meetings of all these nations, everybody will have to get on board. And that's just not ever going to happen because money over everything is the name of the game out here. So giving $1 trillion to the climate. Now, do I believe we should have more solar powered, say, vehicles and things like that? Yeah. Should they be more affordable? Absolutely, but they're not. But I think those things are possible. But then when you tell me they already given $1 trillion to it, and you're saying that's the number one problem, I'm gonna have to give you a little bit of pushback on that. That's not my number one problem. If it's hot outside, I'll just stay in the house. And if it's cold, you put a goddamn coat on. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Oh shit, it's buffering. Hold on. Why does it do that?
of the nuclear weapons. That too is a threat to our survival. And right now, that is a law. That is a law of the land. The nuclear weapons ban treaty is now required by the United Nations. The vast majority of the world nations have signed on, but not the nuclear weapons holding nations, not Israel, not Russia, not the U.S., not China. So I was there to promote those three things, not just to Russia, but to the world press, which was gathered there.
This is a Russian TV dinner, which American intelligence officials say is the Kremlin mouthpiece. And I'm curious, if you were there, you were sitting in this picture that I see.
So I was there to speak to global media, including the Canadian Broadcasting System, the BBC, China, India, world media, to know that there is another constituency within the U.S. We are not all about being empire, about conducting endless war against black and brown people around the world and ginning up nuclear weapons. And we have, by the way, led the charge in dismantling the nuclear treaty, so that right now we are risking nuclear war on 3 fronts. Did you know that one nuclear-armed submarine alone contained the equivalent of 5,000 Hiroshima bombs? Nuclear confrontation is a threat to us all because of the nuclear winter thing. And there's so much which is not being addressed. There's so much which the American people deserve to know, including how much this is costing us.
I think the main thing, because she said there's a lot America needs, the people need to know, including how much it costs. I think that's the main thing that the American people need to know is how much is that costing per day or to maintain these nuclear weapons and things like that. I think that will be how you drive the point home. Do I think they're going to just be dropping nuclear weapons or dropping nuclear bombs off? I think they learned their lesson with that. I really don't think that's something that they're really going to be interested in doing. But I'm not saying I know for sure, but I can't see how the nations that have nuclear weapons just turn and point them at each other and then everybody shoot them off and see what happens. Like I think that's just a silly way to even have to handle any conflict personally. So I don't think they're going to do that. But I do understand where she's coming from. Like, hey, there's a lot of money going into making and maintaining and storing these weapons.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, great.
It says engaging with foreign assets is a pattern for Dr. Jill Stein. Previously, the Senate Intelligence Committee investigated links between Stein's 2016 campaign and Russia's efforts to interfere in the election, while an indictment brought by Special Counsel Robert Mueller found that the Kremlin's Internet Research Agency had used social media to promote her candidacy.
So that...
So here comes Charlemagne jumping in, trying to call her. Basically, she's working with Russia. She's a Russian spy, basically, is the point that Angela Rye and Charlemagne are trying to make.
That has been...
more than 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so the Senate Intelligence Committee, they don't mention what the finding of the Senate Intelligence Committee was, which was that there was absolutely no fault on my part whatsoever.
Been
the question
debunked.
that was raised there was, did Russian social media have an impact? And was I, a beneficiary of that? And the Senate...
They said you repeatedly parroted Kremlin views and posted
well,
campaign
you know what they
video from
consider a
outside
Kremlin
Red
view?
Kremlin
they
views.
consider reparations a Kremlin view.
Oh.
They consider the civil rights movement actually a Kremlin view. They consider racial disparities a Kremlin view. So these are Department of Defense talking points, and these are unfortunately the DNC talking points as well, which repeatedly tries to smear me as a Russian agent, even though it has been
idiots.
Yes, and this has been very specific.
They're always trying to smear her as a Russian agent. Reparations is a Kremlin talking point. Basically, they say she has Kremlin talking points. Well, standing up for black people, that's a Kremlin talking point. These are Kremlin talking points, and they're trying to claim that she's, basically working for Russia because she has these ideologies. And she basically saying, man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
specifically
Let's just be blunt about that.
found lacking. And the report, get this, the report that was initially used to supposedly show that Russians had a social media campaign supporting me, that was written by a cybersecurity firm called the New
This is a bunch
Knowledge
of bullshit I don't care
Corporation.
about.
New Knowledge had to
Not gonna lie.
disband shortly after publishing that because they were exposed for conducting an interference campaign themselves in the 2017 Senate election in Alabama. And how did they do that? They pretended to be a Russian influence campaign on social media. So they did exactly what they have accused the Russians of doing. They actually did and put it under the false guise of being a Russian interference campaign.
all-
So
it's
this
all
is
a psyop
just such
and
Have you had
hijab,
any
bro.
such
Yeah,
and it's a
conversations
psyop, totally.
with Vladimir Putin or anybody in the Kremlin, anybody within his team? Have you ever had any
I have
conversations
tried
with him?
to and have never been able to. But that has been my goal, to actually advance each of these three absolutely critical issues. And in the words
She bet Angela's gonna come in. Have you ever talked to Putin before? Because that's really, I could get you if you done talked to Putin before. She's like, no, but if I could, I would. I would talk to the motherfucker. Ain't that what everybody do that runs a nation or is trying to be in a political space? You talk to the other motherfuckers. That's just, I thought that was basic shit. You don't have to be colluding with somebody else just to have a conversation with them.
of John F. Kennedy, we must not negotiate out of fear, but we must not fear to negotiate. Look at the Ukraine war, for example, which is an absolute disaster. It is a war being fought to the last Ukrainian. No one is paying a steeper price in blood than the people of Ukraine right now. This is an absolutely criminal and tragic war, but it was completely avoidable even after it began.
Now, mind you, again, I don't really give a fuck about the Ukrainian people. Not going to lie to y'all, okay? I don't have to be politically correct. I don't give a fuck about that. But I do know the money that's being sent over there to Ukraine can be used to have programs to help people here and be used to uplift the American people. I do know that. I could give a fuck less about the people's lives over there. Like I'm standing with Ukraine, all that shit. Y'all, man, we talked about that. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
And there were negotiations taking place under the auspices of Turkey, which brought together the various parties, and you had a peace agreement between Russia and between Ukraine. And that peace treaty was disrupted by the U.S. and by the U.K., which came in and said, no, you may not make peace here. The U.S. has been invested in this, unfortunately, as part of our plan for the expansion of U.S. influence following the collapse of the Soviet Union. It's a longer story. We don't need to go into it. But this is an absolutely avoidable conflict.
She's
You have to be
long-winded
very
as fuck.
skeptical of the talking points that we're hearing
What
from the
does
Department
the
of
Green Party
Defense.
have planned for America?
Well, so
I
that-
hear a lot of geopolitical issues. What
Yeah,
is it?
and so I'd like to bridge between those by going back.
Now here comes Charlemagne, the coon, trying to move the conversation. He's saying, well, what does the Green Party have in its policies for America? Mind you, she has a website. He just used his computer to look up some bullshit about Russia and her colluding with Russia. She has a website that names all of her agendas, all of her plans. He did basically talking about what you gonna do for Americans. What you gonna do for Americans? Y'all the one that got her on this shit about Russia. Y'all the one did that. Y'all asked her about it. And she answered the question. Now you gonna talk about, well, can we move along? All you talking about is geopolitics. Well, one, it looks like they're running on that anti-Palestine war or anti-genocide in Palestine. That's something that they're running on. So they're gonna talk about that a little bit more. But what they're gonna do for the American people, they talked about police brutality earlier. And they talked about reparations earlier. They talked about universal health care earlier. They already did all that, Charlamagne. You was sitting right there. What the fuck you talking about?
Back to something that you asked about, like Team Red, right? You know, how we appeal. So just to be clear, right? That part of the appeal to Team Red is to actually focus on America. So one of the things that is a marked difference between the way that the corporate interests that control the Democrats and the corporate interests that control the Republicans are configured is that on the so-called right end of the spectrum, there are a lot more people that are interested in disengagement from forever wars and want to focus instead on domestic policy. So I think that is one place where we can absolutely make an appeal. And, you know, the appeal that Jill, you know, sort of framed, and I'll be blunt about this. Like my grandfather, Rudolph Ware Sr., he never, so yeah, I go by Butch, but I'm actually Rudolph Ware III. You know, my grandfather from Georgia, father grew up in D.C. My son is also Rudolph. You know, so we got four of them. But Rudolph Sr. never would vote for Democrats because he didn't like that culture of dependency, going with your hand out. He was somebody that did things for himself. So the idea of saying we can cut your personal income taxes, we can cut your small business taxes because we're going to make billionaires pay their fair share, and we'll stop taking money out of your pocket and handing it to Raytheon by laundering it through genocides, right? That we feel that is something that will appeal to people, you know, not just on the right, but like people that are not thinking about voting at all. That this is actually a really, really crucial point. And it is one place where Team Blue is absolutely speeding us towards World War III more rapidly than Team Red is. Okay, Team Red might be speeding us towards a kind of societal collapse, right? And fascism. Exactly. Right. No. But the thing is that the truth of the matter is that imperialism and fascism are two sides of the same coin. One is the side that faces outwards, and the other is the side that faces inward. And I made a social media post before I got brought onto the team that said it this way: is that whether you vote Team Red or Team Blue, militarized fascism wins. Because the AIPAC and the weapons manufacturers are patrons of both networks. And just to return to that point, right? I've been on campuses. I organize a Palestinian liberation.
Basically, what he's saying is that money is funding both sides. So you're going to get militarized fascism regardless. I wish he would just come out and call it a fucking oligarchy and or a plutocracy like it is. But he's basically saying that both sides, they're being funded on both sides. Both candidates, both parties are bought and paid for. That's basically what he's saying.
Concert on October 21st. I organized a Black and Palestinian solidarity panel at my local mosque on October 11th, 4 days after. Like, your brother was not backing down. And the Zionists came for my job within a month, okay? And, you know, a Negro's still standing. So, but the point of all that is just to say that when we launched this campaign to try to actually bring people into this conversation, you see that this is actually where the American people stand. The American people do not want this forever war, and they do not want militarized fascists coming to their campuses to crack kids' heads open. I had to stand out in front of the encampment, and that's Democratic governor in California. That's Democrat, mayors in places like New York City. It's Democrats that are running cop cities. So the thing is, bro, fascism is already here. It's just that one of it is like fascism, and the other is fascism. But the truth is that the purple fascists, the purple imperialists, Team Red and Team Blue, are run by the same funders, and who funds you runs you. So there's a discourse about putting off fascism. But the reality is that fascism was already here because we already can't speak for you.
You should have just stuck with that, my boy. Who funds you runs you. Who funds you runs you. That's what's happening.
We already have people, university presidents, losing their job under Democratic regimes. We already have kids that are lining up for peaceful protests, having their heads knocked open, or you have the cops standing to the side at UCLA so the thugs can knock kids' heads open. So I'm sorry, the fear-mongering ain't gonna work on me.
The only thing that I would
The fear-mongering ain't gonna work on him. Now here come Angela again with some bullshit. Watch.
say to you is, I think it's very dangerous rhetoric to say there are two sides of the same coin. I do think it's important for us to understand.
It's dangerous rhetoric to say the Democrats and Republicans are two sides of the same coin. Since when did that become dangerous rhetoric? Angela, you said your dad was an activist. That's been a talking point of activists, and particularly the anti-establishment activists, the type of people who act like that. That's been a talking point. Everybody knows they're two wings in the same bird, all this old shit that people say. It's the same shit. How is that dangerous? Why are you using a word like dangerous, such a dramatic word?
To the Democrats, yes.
I think it's dangerous to all of us, actually. I don't have the privilege.
We disagree.
I understand. We do on a lot. We also agree on a lot. But here's one thing I think we can agree on. Either you win or lose this election. There's really no in between. Dr. Stein, in 2002, you ran for governor of Massachusetts and you lost. In 2004, you ran for state representative in Massachusetts and you lost. In 2006, you ran for secretary of the Commonwealth. You also lost. In 2010, you ran for governor again, this time against the first Black governor in Massachusetts, Deval Patrick. You lost. In 2012, you ran against this country's first Black president, and you got just less than 1/2%
Now, she's run out all these L's that Jill Stein ever caught.
of total votes cast. In 2016, you ran against Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, losing significantly with 1.4 million votes cast for you, but 0 electoral college votes, which I agree with.
Now, she's at the computer just running down L's for Jill.
Y'all needs to be abolished. But 136 million people voted, and you lost that election as well. So I want to know what the pathway to victory is for you in 2024. It can't just be.
I'd like to provide a different
Shut your mouth.
Like, basically, bitch, look, all you do is take L's. What's the difference? Now, is that a fucked up question? Yeah, a little bit. How do you win? Well, they've been explaining how they win the whole time, letting people know they even have the option. I think Jill might have got a little worked up right here.
Watch your fucking mouth.
I want to provide.
And also,
Can I respond, please? May I respond? May I respond?
Go ahead.
But I would like to respond. This is the framing of the empire and the oligarchy and white supremacy and colonialism, which wants you to feel that resistance is futile. This is about
Huh? This is the framing of the power structure of the oligarchs, the oligarchy. Okay, now we're getting into using that word, white supremacy. This is what they say. They say that there is basically resistance is futile. There's no point in y'all standing up for yourself. There's no point in being, against the system because you're going to lose every fucking time. That's basically what Angela came in with that energy. She's basically like, nah, that's what they want you to believe. That's what they want you to believe. There's no way out.
Voter blaming and voter shaming.
Let me finish.
No.
What you're not going to say is that I'm ever parodying anything at the hands of white supremacy. This is something that's
But
very
you
different.
are. But you actually are, Angela. You are. And when you're trying to convince somebody that all you can do is lose, okay? This person's bigger than you. You can't beat them. If you're sitting around saying that to somebody who's trying to come with an agenda that's for the people, essentially, That's what you're saying. That's what white supremacy has been saying. Okay, that's what the oligarchs have been saying. That's what the representation has been. It's either Democrat or Republican, and you niggas have no choice. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. So you are parroting white supremacist talking points. You are.
Is me asking you again. It's a binary
Well, I'm
choice
just
in an
pointing
election.
out that
It
these
is
are the
either a
talking
win or a
points.
lie. No,
These
it's
are
not
the
a
same talking
point.
points
No,
that the
I didn't get my
DNC
talking
uses.
points. This is not DNC talking points. This is my research, and sadly,
This is Angela. You are a DNC talking head. All you can have is DNC talking points. You can't come with anything else. You can't even think for yourself. You can't. You can't think outside of that box. What box they're inside of is more of a revolutionary box. And people that put themselves in these boxes that are afraid cannot fathom revolution. They can't see it. It doesn't make sense to them. Like, why would you go against them? Why would you be saying anything? Why would you even be trying to run? You know what I'm saying? Like, resistance is futile. That was a perfect example when Jill Stein put it like that. And now Angela and her goddamn feelings.
for you, the research says you have never won an election. You have been successful in pushing forward certain agendas as
Absolutely.
an advocate, but you have
And
never won an
we
election
are
as a
the
candidate. Is
one
that a good
party.
Why are you saying she never won an election as a candidate when your girl, Kamala, didn't win no election either? Now, if Jill or Butch would have been in the right presence of mind, they would have asked that question. Well, speaking of democracy, that's what I would have said. Yeah, I actually ran and I took my L's. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Kamala, she didn't run for shit. Matter of fact, she ran, got fucked up, backed out, became vice, selected into that position. This time, Joe Biden broke weak on stage, let Trump run him down, and now Kamala was selected to do that. So watch your motherfucking tone. Your friend ain't won shit either. But see, everybody too goddamn nice. That's why I ain't right. I ain't right for this type of shit.
strategy.
So in order to win, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And in this case, it's
This is
many
1,
steps. Let
2,
me
3,
point
4,
out.
5, 6,
Let me
7
point
steps.
out, please.
Angela, you don't have to be disrespectful. She's giving you the journey of, begins with one step. Basically, you can't do nothing unless you're going to get up there and try to do it. And if you fall, what they say, if you fall down, get back up again. Whatever the fuck saying goes with that. Basically, it's just the vibe that Jill Stein is having here. Like, yeah, I know I done took my L's out here, but I'm running as the Green Party. I'm running as this independent thing over here that's people funded and shit like that. And most people are believing, or most people are going to vote within the two-party system. Like, come on, yo.
You need to compare the Green Party, not with those who are taking money from AIPAC and the War Machine and Wall Street. You've got to
comparing it with
compare
your
us,
record.
you have to compare us to other grassroots,
Brother, now you want to support her. She
non-corporate.
told me I'm a white supremacist. Okay. She said I was pairing the talking point for the white.
Now she's Angela Rye's now trying to get support from Charlemagne to say, well, you just gonna let her call me a white supremacist? You gonna let her say I'm parroting the talking points of white supremacy? You are. And Charlemagne don't got the right type of mind to defend your ass anyway. You are. Resistance is futile is what they've been telling black people the whole time. Huh? If everybody was thinking like you, we'd still be on the goddamn plantations. Huh? Resistance is futile. Ain't nothing you can do against this big system. Now Angela trying to get somebody to come in and save her now.
Supremacy. That was my discipline.
May I finish, please? May I get to my point? May I please get to my point? Let me finish, please. Thank you. You're trying to.
Hold on, I am gonna let y'all see this picture. This is the one that people been having. Hold on, I'm gonna let y'all see this. This is her now. This is what she is now with her arms crossed, mad. Mad as fuck. She slammed the computer down and tried to close her arms like this. No one gives a fuck, Angela. Nobody cares. You are a grown woman sitting there attacking somebody for no real reason. Well, there is a reason. You're being paid to, but still. Nobody gives a fuck about all that you talking about. You in the way of revolution. She's trying to put down some revolutionary shit and you're in the way. That's what's happening here. Hold on, let me get this back off here so we can go back into it.
compare us to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party with their billions of
Right.
dollars, or to the Working Families Party, which is not under attack, as a people-powered party, not taking money from Wall Street or the
Right.
War Machine
Right.
or AIPAC, we are on very different turf. But if you compare us to all other similar parties, which are not taking corporate money, which are not bought and paid for, which can stand up against endless war, against homelessness, against the climate crisis, against the housing and the healthcare crisis, campaigns like us who can actually stand up for the people, they last exactly 1 to 2 election cycles and then they're gone. So we are actually the pillar of strength among people-powered politics. And what have we done over that period? We have established the Green Party
She go
as the
ahead.
vehicle for people-powered politics. We have also launched the agenda, which has been adopted by the progressive Democrats, given lip service, not actually advanced. But whether you're looking at healthcare as a human right, launched by Ralph Nader as a national issue, reparations, launched by our campaign as a national issue in 2012. If you look at free public higher education, bailing out students and ending student debt, you had Congress bailing out the crooks on Wall Street who crashed the economy, but not bailing out homeowners, not bailing out students. That
Huh? Remember? Remember what Obama did? She should have said his goddamn name. Bailed out the banks, but did not bail out the people at all. That's what the Democrats do. They're in the pockets of these people. They're going to bail out big businesses, big banks. They're going to do that type of shit and let the American people suffer. That is what Jill Stein's party is trying to come out of Green Party. They're coming out here saying there's another option than y'all having to choose the lesser of two evils every time. What about just not choosing evil? Money is the root, they say, of for the love of money is the root of all evil. A lot of people get that wrong. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. So here you have the Republicans Incorporated, Democrats Incorporated. They already bought and paid for. Okay, they love money too much to do right by the people. You cannot do right by the people and love money at the same time. It is an impossibility. You cannot do both. I don't give a fuck how you slice it, how you talk about it, what you say. You cannot love people and love money at the same time. It's impossible because you're going to sacrifice them people for that money. Okay? And it's basically what Jill Stein is saying. You can't compare us to these motherfuckers that done took all this bread. We a small team, but we are gaining steam. Okay? We're gaining traction. And that's what the point of this is now. She old as fuck. So, of course, she is not the entire Green Party. The Green Party actually has members. And they use the same talking points. They're going to have other candidates to come out and run in elections and things like that. So, this isn't going to end with this. And it's sad it takes so much just for people to be able to see because they're being sabotaged the whole time.
agenda was launched by us. So I think it's not
And
fair.
she's saying y'all
and it is
biting
the
our
talking
style.
point of AOC the other day, who was taking her marching orders from the DNC. This is exactly what
It
they
is
say,
amazing
that
to
we are
hear you
only
talk
running
about
for
women of
president.
color as parroting talking points instead of us looking at
AOC is a white bitch. Angela, with your coon ass. AOC is white. Okay? She's not a woman of color. What the fuck are you talking about? She is a Spanish-speaking white woman. And she does not ride for black people in any type of way whatsoever. She rides for her fellow white Hispanics. The so-called Latinos. That's who AOC ride for. So why the fuck are you sitting here? She going in on AOC. She's like, I can't believe you sitting here talking about women of color. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You paired yourself now with AOC just because she's a Democratic shield now too? AOC started off in the Green Party. She was talking that people type of talk back when she was, gaining her steam too. But she done sold her soul to the DNC Incorporated, just like you did long time ago. Long before AOC, you was already there. You was there waiting on AOC. You might have been the motherfucker that walked her around the building and showed her around. Okay? You were already there. But AOC is just a talking head for the Democrats. That's all she is now. That's all you are. So sitting here talking about how can you talk about women of color? AOC ain't no motherfucking woman of color. The fuck are you talking about? Silly ass.
Over that period, we have established the Green Party as the vehicle for people-powered politics. We have also launched the agenda, which has been adopted by the progressive Democrats, given lip service, not actually advanced. But whether you're looking at healthcare as a human right, launched by Ralph Nader as a national issue, reparations, launched by our campaign as a national issue in 2012. If you look at free public higher education, bailing out students and ending student debt, you had Congress bailing out the crooks on Wall Street who crashed the economy, but not bailing out homeowners, not bailing out students. That agenda was launched by us. So I think it's not fair, and it is the talking point of AOC the other day, who was taking her marching orders from the DNC. This is exactly what
It
they
is
say,
amazing
that we
to
are
hear you
only
talk
running
about
for
women of
president.
color as parroting talking points instead of us looking at basic math. The one thing that AOC has done that you haven't is win some elections. And so when I'm asking you,
Well,
if
what
you
I'm
won
trying
any
to say-
elections, that is one point. If you want to tell me that
Let's
you want
talk
to
Now, tell me in your history of watching the Breakfast Club, when they have presidential candidates come up there, that they ever had somebody come in with that type of smoke. In your whole history. I've watched plenty of interviews on there. I done rushed up plenty of politicians that come on there. I've never seen this type of hostility towards a candidate that Angela Rye is touched. She's upset. This woman talking about AOC, you gonna come in and put your cape on for AOC? Just because she a Democratic shield now too? That doesn't make it, well, it does make sense to me, but like, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit, yo. Get out of here with this bullshit. When have y'all ever seen them be this hostile towards a presidential candidate? They was up there kikiing with Candace Owens. And Candace Owens is one of the biggest coons, I would argue, on planet Earth. But this is the hostility you got for Jill Stein, who's talking about a people-powered party.
push a more
Good
progressive
question.
agenda.
Let's
If
talk
you
about that.
want to talk about pushing a
1,500
progressive agenda,
elections.
you can do that not by running necessarily for
As
president.
Frederick
Your track
Douglass
record
said,
as a state
power
rep candidate,
concedes
as a
nothing.
secretary of the Commonwealth candidate, as a gubernatorial candidate, as a presidential
I hear
candidate are
this.
woefully lacking.
I hear
So I'm
this,
asking that you
unfortunately,
consider going
as
about it
the
a different way
blaming-
instead of telling me I'm parroting white supremacist talking points.
So I can tell.
That white supremacist talking point is really sent her. But you are. Somebody need to tell you something. Charlemagne won't do it. He's just going to sit up there and laugh like a fucking bumbling idiot. He won't do it. DJ Emmy ain't going to do it. The other black woman that's there don't know her fucking name. She's not going to do it. But you are parroting white supremacist talking points. Yeah. You're too small to stand up. It's their job to make you forget that you have kneecaps. That's their job. That's the Democrats, and even I'll argue, even the Republican shields, that's their job. We too big. Y'all don't even need to stand up. Their job is to make you forget you got fucking kneecaps. That's all Angela's job is. Black people keep voting for us, even though we're not going to do shit for you. Don't ever stand up for your motherfucking self and call the bullshit out. Their job is to make you forget you got goddamn kneecaps.
I should hear the facts.
I
These
can
are
tell
the
you-
facts. The numbers are not on your side,
Well,
right?
Dr. Jill Stein, let's
Oh,
end with some closing
absolutely.
remarks.
Yes.
On your campaign, and then the Honorable Angela Rye, you can end with your
I'm
closing
done.
remarks.
I've asked my question.
Okay, so as Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing.
Okay, I don't even want to hear no more of this. I'm gonna come to y'all exclusively now. Let me get this off of here. That's basically the end of it. They go in and they talk a little bit more, but I just, y'all see what Angela Rye, the type time she was on, right? This is why I refuse. I don't fuck with Democratic shields of any. I don't fuck with any political pundit anyway. This was not me making a video to support Jill Stein in any type of way. This was me just showing the options for you people who actually believe in voting. You have other options. You do not have to choose the so-called lesser of two evils. You don't have to do that. In any type of way whatsoever, you do not have to do that at all. Okay? There is another option. And in this case, it's the Green Party. If you like what you're hearing, okay, cool. Go fuck with them. It's not me supporting them or whatever, but y'all know I did the debate with the Democrats, Republican, the Green Party. I mean, I haven't heard them in a live debate. And if I do hear them in a debate, of course, I will review that as well. But it's very interesting to hear the types of things that they support and how everybody's telling them that this is an impossible thing. These are impossible things to get done. But what I think Jill Stein understands and brother Butch Ware understands is with the people behind you. If you got the people behind you, then you have more power than really any other entity. The people is where the power is. And now that people are fed up in 2024, people are hungry, people are homeless, people are working 3 and 4 jobs just to make ends meet. People cannot afford the rent. They can't afford the food. The time is now that people will want to hear another option. It would be enticing to people. Like, okay, what they about? These motherfuckers over here ain't doing shit. My stomach's still growling, right? They not doing shit. Let me give these other people an opportunity. Huh? That's what's happening here. Now, I haven't been paying attention to any of y'all's comments over here like that. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, if you've been rocking with me, and y'all know they broke this up. So they broke my lives up. They shut me down in the first half. If you fuck with me and fuck what I'm talking about, put a B123 in the chat. Hit the like button for me. Okay, do that work for me. I'll take questions. If anybody wants to come up here and debate me on, I guess, anything I feel about politics or anything like that, I'll drop the link if you want to have some type of argument or anything like that. I'll also do that with you. And just let me know. What time is it? Damn, I know it was almost 11. Never mind. I don't know. Never mind. I committed to some shit before I saw what time it was. Okay, don't. I'll take some of y'all's comments, but I'm not gonna drop the link because I don't got time to be arguing with niggas. If you don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about at this point, I guess there really ain't no point. And especially about this. Man, I love everybody putting B123 in the chat. If you got any questions, disagreements, if you are a Green Party member and you've been rocking with Stein, you can also let me know that as well. You can also let me know, but I did not know it was about damn near 11 o'clock. Like, I can't be fucking with y'all for a whole long, like, I'm acting like I'm grown and shit, staying up late, right? I know this is way past my motherfucking bedtime, but what happened was I fell asleep earlier. I got to the house. I had I ain't gonna say a long day, but my day started off and I was down in Savannah, Georgia. And my day started off in Savannah. Then I rode out to Inca, North Carolina. Then I came to Charlotte. So I was doing all this damn driving and shit out here. I mean, it wasn't a really bad drive, but by the time I got in this house and I laid down and I watched this supposed to be like a documentary called How to Rob a Bank on Netflix. After I watched that, I passed the fuck out. Okay, that's the only reason I even got this type of energy to have y'all to be in here this late right now. But I watched this documentary called How to Rob a Bank. And let me just say, one thing about criminals that I'll never respect is when you're ahead, go sit down somewhere. What is that? I always think that people are dumb as fuck. When you're ahead, go sit down. Here's this white man robbing banks out in Seattle, Washington. And, he was getting away with it. This was back in the early 90s or early to mid 90s. He was getting away with this shit. This white man and his crew, I guess whoever he had put together, they basically got away with, I want to say, over $1 million. And over a 5 years time, go sit your ass down somewhere. They didn't even catch you. They didn't even, it's just, I don't understand criminals. I really don't. Why can't you stop and go sit your ass down somewhere? I don't understand that at all. I really don't. Why the fuck don't you just quit while you're ahead? That's like they be thinking about drug dealers. Like, you tell them, if I make, back in the 80s, I get to the point where I'm sitting here and I'm making $1 million a month. I quit selling cocaine in 3 months. I'm done with the game. This is before the feds get involved. Because see, by the time they wanted to quit, or they plan, you know how the motherfuckers do, they plan their last heist. The last heist, they go hit 3 banks or whatever. They hit this one bank. And on the last one, of course, the feds got their ass. And that was it. The last one. When they could have just went and sit their asses down somewhere. Same thing with these dope boys. You want to sell dope for 5 years? What? That's not, no. Once you get to the point where back in them times, you making $1 million a day, $1 million a month rather, there's no way I sold dope for more than 3 months. I'm out of the game. Okay? I don't understand the drive to continue to stay in the game. That confuses the fuck out of me. And I don't have no empathy for anybody, whether the race ain't got nothing to do with anything. This was some white men that was out here robbing banks out in, they was having a bank robbing epidemic out there in Washington in the 90s. Now, what they don't want to tell you about crime across this nation is that white men perpetuate a lot of fucking crime. They will try to make it seem like it's black men, but in Washington State, damn well ain't no black folk over there like that. They will have a bank robbing epidemic over there. Okay? This documentary was about one of those bank robbers, but they were having a fucking epidemic. These white men, because robbing banks typically is a crime of poverty. You need money. So what they don't want to talk about ever, is that white men lead the league in crime. They lead the league. Lead the league in crime. Yeah. They lead the league. So, and they blend in typical situations since white people are the majority in this nation. So their whiteness can also be a mask. We don't have that benefit. Now, what this bank robber and his team was doing, they were making like face masks like back in the day. Like they were putting fake noses and cheeks and shit on to kind of disguise their faces to rob these banks. But they was getting away with this shit. They had them ran amok. The feds was confused. The cops was confused. Everybody was confused. These motherfuckers was running amok. And they'll put this documentary out. They'll talk about their criminality. And we'll still think we are the biggest criminals in the world. And it blows my mind. It really does. That's why I watch, true crime documentaries or crime documentaries, or, I watch documentaries anyway. That's my shit. So, just seeing how they even depict them, they won't even lie to you. They won't even lie. And y'all still, black people, and really not just black people all across this nation, still got these motherfucking white people or these caves up on a goddamn pedestal. It makes absolutely no sense to me. You still have them on a pedestal and they show you who they are at all times. And you have yet to take them off that pedestal. You let them call you the criminal. And you believe it. And you try your best to make sure they don't look at you like that. It's a sad state of affairs. It really is. It's sad. I hate that for us. I hate that we always try to prove that we're not criminals to people, to the biggest criminal. Like, we're trying to prove ourselves that we're not criminal. I'm not a thief. I can work hard, extra hard, despite all the racism. I can work 10 jobs and work very hard to prove that we are good working class people, to prove that we're good working people and not criminals, to criminals. To the biggest criminal on the fucking planet. The biggest genocidal maniac on the planet. We're trying to prove ourselves to them. But we think they're better than us. That's how good the propaganda has worked. But I mean, that's okay. I went off on left field. That was a tangent. If anybody got any questions or anything, again, we are going to break down. Kamala did a interview with the National Association of Black Journalists that I'm going to be going over. One of the things that stood out to me in the interview, and I saw this clip online and made me want to review the whole thing. It's about a 50-minute interview. I'll be playing that, and hopefully they won't block me down or whatever. But one of the things that stood out to me is that she actually called herself black in this. So I found it interesting. So I want to do the whole thing and see what she's actually talking about. And if it's Kamala, I mean, there's a good chance she's not talking about shit. It's Kamala. She never talking about shit. She just be talking, like there's no direction to the talk. It's just words just out here that she be saying. But we're actually going to do that together as well. I don't know if I would do that. I may do that tomorrow morning, by the time I wake up and just, get on here and knock that out real quick. I may actually do it as a video, though. I don't know. I ain't sure yet, but we'll see. But I am going to review that. But I think people need to be very, very mindful of how Kamala speaks. How she speaks, you got to be wary about people who talk like that. You have to really be concerned about people who talk like that. And then she could have did a good job. I don't know. She could have done a good job on this one. I know during the debate, of course, we reviewed that together and it was complete and utter trash. And she never answered not one fucking question whatsoever. So maybe she did a little bit better job on this. But again, I only watched that clip because I said, no, I want to make sure I'm watching this fresh with y'all. I don't even want to watch it or anything until I watch it with you guys. Now, this interview, the one we did today, I had actually already seen. I saw the Jill Stein Breakfast Club interview with Dr. Ware and Angela Rye and Breakfast Club. I saw that when it first dropped. So I had already seen it. But this one, we'll be watching this together, see if she does a better job of answering questions. Most definitely. We're going to be doing that together just to try to break down politics and make it more digestible for my people, because they try to, they do try to make this shit really, really complicated. And it's not that complicated. They try to make it overcomplicated so you get lost in the words when it's just a bunch of bullshit. Like they say shit like, we're going to call for, we're asking for a ceasefire when you're in control of the ceasefire. You're in control of the fire. Like, okay, let's mind you. You can't call for a ceasefire if you're in control of the fire. You're providing the fire. There wouldn't be a need for a ceasefire if you stopped giving them the fire. Let them bitches throw rocks at each other and make spears. Old school. Let them do that between themselves. But if you're going to keep sending AKs and keep sending missiles over there for them to bomb on people who don't have the same type of artillery, then you're actively participating and funding a genocide. It just is what it is. And if you're the type of person that cares about that, then you should not be voting Democrat or Republican. Some people feel really strongly about that because the genocide aspect. I feel really strongly about the money going out, and y'all telling me that y'all can't afford to give my people reparations. That's my angle, or that's my perspective on that. The lives and all that, that's less of my concern. My concern is, bitch, you giving them trillions and billions of dollars, and you keep telling me you ain't got no goddamn money. Okay? That's my perspective. As I couldn't get on here and I couldn't get on here and make it about a genocide and make it seem like I couldn't get on here about that. What I do see though is y'all giving them all that goddamn money, and y'all keep telling us y'all can't do shit about giving black people the reparations that we are owed. Okay, make sure you clarify that. Don't say giving black people reparations, because then a lot of motherfuckers want, well, y'all always want handouts. No, bitch, that we are owed, and then some. Okay, because there should be land in there too, money and land, because that's what you did for these motherfuckers with the that first deal that you made with the caves to bring them over from Europe. You gave them land and money, okay, and taught them how to cultivate that land as well. Okay, so you know, if you keep up with what's been happening here and how we got to this point, then you'll be able to stand your ground on your talking points when you're standing up for your blackness at all time. And that's what I'm trying to teach over here, is how to stand up for your blackness candidly, but passionately, but candidly. And don't let motherfuckers talk over your head, because they do try to use a lot of words, and that shit don't work on us over here. That shit don't work on us. You can use all the words you want to, but you're a fucking coon, okay? Or you are in support of this white supremacist system. You're a cave, like you're a racist cave. Like, we don't, all that long talk shit y'all doing, no. Where the fucking money at? And quit saying you ain't got it. Okay? It doesn't make any sense. We don't fall for them types of games over here. But do y'all have any questions or anything like that before I get out here? I just be going on tangents and shit like that, y'all. I'm gonna try to do better about that. Do y'all have any questions or anything like that? Any disagreements? Anything you got for me? I'm looking in the comments now. I'll sit here and I'll give y'all a little bit of time. Nope, no questions, JB. That's the fuck I'm talking about. I don't be really leaving many questions to be asked, but it ain't, it could be about, what's going on in politics. Who the fuck y'all? Oh, man. Oh. Any opinion on the Diddy fiasco? I should actually make a whole separate video about this, but let me say this in quick. Let me say this in short. I don't give a fuck about Puff. Okay? I don't give a fuck about Puff or any rich black man who decided that he, instead of being humble, instead of being a normal, regular, behaving black man in this society, you choose to be fucked up towards other black people. Mainly, I do believe that he had something to do with the notorious B.I.G. being murdered. They also implicating him in how something happened to Tupac. Either way, Diddy, or what y'all call him Diddy, I do like to stick with Puff. Puff got rich off of fucking over black people. Okay? My opinion on any black person who gets rich off of fucking over other black people is fuck you. Okay? That's not a new opinion that started when the shit with Cassie happened, because a lot of motherfuckers is fake. There are a lot of people that's fake as fuck. And they waited for him to be in that, whatever the fuck he had going on with Cassie. Then they decided they didn't like him. They didn't fuck with him. I've been like this for years. Before anything came out about Puff and what he's doing as far as domestic violence, what he's been doing as far as sexual assault, because he was fucking over black people. That's all I need. I don't need criminal charges to not give a fuck. Soon as another black person, and I see that they've made their, basically made their bones with turning their backs on their own people, with fucking over their own people, with shaming their own people. And that's how they made their money. And then this motherfucker will actually have the audacity to come out here and put his fucking fist up sometime. Then this bitch ass nigga actually had the audacity to talk about vote or die. I was already done then. I didn't need him to beat Cassie's ass. I didn't need him to rape or what they were saying, allegedly sexually assault. Anyway, I didn't need any of that. I was already done. Y'all be late. That's my opinion on most of these motherfuckers. Y'all just be late. Y'all wait till they break the law until the white man tell you not to fuck with him. Then you don't fuck with him. It's early in the game for me. Y'all wait for white folk to tell you who to like, who to dislike, who to fuck with, who to not fuck with. I don't wait for that at all. Especially as it pertains to black people. I'm not going to let white people tell me what black person to like or dislike or be against. No, I have my own set of values and principles. If you spend your time shitting on black people to get ahead, your soul is already corrupt to me. And you open and down to do anything. And that involves and includes sexual assault. You open for it. I mean, your soul, you fucked up anyway. You for sale anyway. You do anything for money. So at that moment, any criminality, I mean, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't give a fuck about none of that. None of it. Don't care what goes on with him, if he loses money or whatever the fuck he go. He was anti-black. And a fake revolutionary at that. It was an insult. To me, personally, it was an insult. So I didn't fuck with him based on any of those principles anyway. At all. Now, him being a black man, of course, him a black man, and so this system, they're going to make an example out of him as per his blackness. But if his black ass didn't know that, after what, has he not ever talked to Minister Farrakhan? Y'all, like that matters. I don't fuck with Farrakhan. Y'all see? You see that? I don't fuck with him. But y'all act like that shit matters. Who the fuck told Puff he wasn't black? That he could just run around here acting like these white men act. You should have known when they caught up with your motherfucking ass, they were going to make an example of you. You being older than me and not having that knowledge is no. I don't fuck with that at all. I don't fuck with that in any type of way whatsoever. You didn't talk to Minister, Lewis, y'all claim that matters. Why the fuck don't you know you're black? You don't get to run around here acting like white men. You don't get to do that. And you got all that money. You don't get to do that. The fuck? How are you dumb? I don't respect that from all these rich niggas to be dumb. I don't respect none of that. How are you dumb? No. These are facts. Mark said that's a lot of baby oil, Rob. A whole lot of baby oil and lube is what the man, they said they found baby oil and lube on him. None of my business. They just trying to humiliate the motherfucker. I mean, y'all, listen. When you're black and you get caught up out here in this system, they're going to humiliate you worse than they do anybody else. That's just how it goes. If Puff was a white man, we would have never heard nothing about no goddamn 1,000 bottles of lube. You'd have never heard that story because they're not trying to humiliate him. They're not trying to humiliate the white man. You're not gonna hear about what the fuck Harvey Weinstein had in his mansion when they raided that bitch and arrested his whole ass. You didn't hear about none of that. You heard that about Puff because he black. And they're going to humiliate the fuck out of him and try to prosecute the shit out of him. They're going to do both. They're going to do both. These white men that are concerned about him dropping these tapes that he done recorded them motherfuckers in there wilding out. Okay? Puff got tapes of all the shindigs that he was involved in. So once they get all those, scrub off the people that they don't want to be found out, they're going to give us the rest. The people the rest as, kind of evidence. We found all these tapes. I bet you they're going to clean them bitches off. Bet you they're going to scrub them tapes. They call it scrubbing. They're going to scrub them tapes. So, for example, if you got the director of Homeland Security on there, getting him some strange, okay? Because apparently they can get whatever you like at a Puff party. You want some man, you want some woman, whatever the fuck you want, you can get that. But the director of, not saying he was, but if the director of Homeland Security was there, that tape would be the one that's missing. And they're turning the rest. You see what I'm saying? They're turning all the ones with niggas on them. Oh, y'all can see them. Oh, yeah. Niggas and white people they don't care about. You're going to see all of them. Yo, yeah. They're going to make sure you see those. Because then it becomes a nigga problem, right? The same way that R. Kelly became the face of all pedophilia and all sexual degeneracy. The same way Bill Cosby became the face of all sexual assault with drugging. Bill Cosby, right? They're gonna make Puff the face of all black degeneracy, sexual degeneracy as well. Same thing they did with R. Kelly. Except Puffs would be victims are of age, so that separates him from R. Kelly. But they're making sure there's a black face in all areas of degeneracy. They're making sure. So y'all gonna see your niggas on there. Y'all need to be, if y'all Jay-Z people need to be worried. I saw a picture that had Leo on there and J-Lo was on there. Y'all need to be a little concerned. And if you believe that he was doing all that, and you know the Cassie when they was together, that she didn't have anything to do with that, I don't know about that. I don't know. But you gonna see the niggas. You can believe that. All the niggas you gonna see. The white men and women that's involved in that, you're not gonna see a whole lot of that. It's gonna be niggas. Rappers, entertainers, things like that. You're gonna see niggas on there. That's what you're gonna see. That's gonna happen with Puff. And they're trying to humiliate him. That's why we know he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube in his house. That's why you know that. That's not illegal. Why would you even be saying that? There's nothing illegal. It's weird as fuck. Okay? Some may even argue it's sus. Okay, it can be all of that. But that's not public. I shouldn't know that. That has nothing to do with the criminal case at all. They're just trying to humiliate him best they can. And they're going to. And it's going to work. He a black man. And he's a fucking degenerate. Really, he really is one. And so, I mean, society already be, give me a reason to hate niggas. I already kind of hate them, but just give me a reason to put both feet on the ground and shit. Like, it's light work. Puff is light work. Puff is an easy one. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with him after this. After all this shit coming out here, he may have his kids in his corner. That's it. Well, Stevie J, he a little weird about Puff. I seen Boosie say something. He a little weird about Puff too. I even seen Faison Love say something about Puff. But these are all weird niggas. Like, they're saying stuff to support or trying to say basically, well, why ain't white men getting the same type of smoke? And I you know what? I got a problem with rich black men always asking that question. When the fuck are you niggas gonna learn? When the fuck are y'all gonna have a rich nigga meeting and sit at a goddamn table and learn something? When is that gonna happen? As opposed to after the fact, all y'all are like, well, this system is after niggas. Okay. What the fuck? Okay. They are after niggas. Once you niggas get in that position where y'all got all that fucking bread, all that money, you can have lawyers on retention, accountants on retention, the niggas that don't pay your taxes, y'all got all this fucking money and y'all still dumb? You think you can transcend blackness with money? You gonna have freak parties that did not stop. You continue to have them with your old man ass. You don't get to do that. That was Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner could do that. He was an old white man. Y'all thought y'all was him. They let him get away with not only sexual assault happening at his parties, not only young girls being at his parties. You don't hear much about Hugh Hefner at all. He was one of them though. Y'all thought y'all was him? What? And Puff, you was show with your fist up, nigga? What books did you read? What orators did you listen to where you forgot you was black? How you do that? You thought you was Hugh? Huh? Didn't have nobody sign an NDA. So not only you thought you was Hugh, you fucked up the people, you beating people's ass, you not having people sign NDAs whatsoever at all, which I think maybe Farnsworth Bentley signed something. I ain't heard. The nigga that used to have the umbrella that used to hang with Puff all the time, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. I really don't. I don't know if him and Puff was fucking or what, but they don't even construct the shit right. Who the fuck do you niggas think you are? You think when you reach billionaire status, that means something to niggas? Maybe. To them caves, that don't mean anything because they made you. They allowed you to make that money. That's how they look at it. And they can come take your shit down whenever they get ready. Because y'all you won't put your money into any real institutions, hospitals, libraries, grocery stores, a trucking company, whatever it is. You won't put your money into real shit. You bitch ass niggas keep buying Gucci. Bitch ass niggas keep going to parties. Bitch ass niggas keep buying these fucking mansions and cars and houses. And that's where you get fucked up at, because you will not even create a business that will create residual income. Y'all niggas want to keep tricking your money out. That's on you. You keep wanting to make businesses and do business with the caves, even after you get to the point where you don't have to. That's on you. That's on you. That's on all you niggas. Shame on all you bitch ass niggas. That's on y'all. Take that. Take that. Take that. They showing your bitch ass. We can. Like, what you mean? As much as you can say, take that, nigga, we can, and we coming. Huh? And I'm gonna tell everybody you had lube in this bitch, nigga. Like, we gonna have these niggas laughing at your motherfucking ass. Who the fuck you talking to? Talking about some take that, nigga. Who the fuck you talking to? Talking about some take that, huh? Okay. We'll show your motherfucking ass. Now again, I don't know how many of these motherfuckers he gonna take down with him. I have no idea. I have no idea how many of these motherfuckers he gonna take down with him. But I do believe it's gonna be niggas that, you know, be the ones get caught up in this shit. It's gonna be black men in particular. It's gonna be black men. Cause I don't think that. Well, I don't know if they're gonna hold any women compliant or complacent in the whole situation. They start going after women. I imagine that Oprah might be their first stop, but I don't know if they're gonna start going after women. Right now, it's niggas. It's niggas. So now you're gonna see about Puff. They denied his bail. Said he was a motherfucking flight risk. They were scared he was gonna go over there with Russell Simmons. That's what they were scared of. They were scared he's gonna take his ass over there with Russell Simmons and chill over there in Bali or some shit like that. They was on Taraji's head because she went over there to visit Russell Simmons not too long ago. They was on her head, but Russell Simmons over there in Bali somewhere, wherever the fuck he is, they were scared Puff was gonna run his ass over there with them. So his ass is gonna be in prison whole time. His ass gonna be in prison until the trial. And once they get to this point where they didn't be able to confiscate all this shit, I don't know. We're gonna see. It's gonna be the talk of the goddamn town. It's gonna be the talk of the internet. And black men, once again, are going to become the face of all degeneracy. That's all it's gonna be. These rich niggas just, I don't understand them. I don't get it. You couldn't have me. They could be doing so much good with that bread, and they just be out here doing weird shit. How much pussy you need? I just don't. I don't get it. How much do you need? And any man that is, you know, committing acts of domestic violence on a woman, to me, I think they deserve to be killed anyway. Yeah, killed. So I can't. I feel nothing for Puff outside of the black aspect of it. That means he's going to be more humiliated, and they're going to go at him a little bit harder. I'll argue maybe a lot harder than they're going to go at a white man. That's the only. I mean, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. But if you're a black man and you ever got your fist up and you don't know this, put your shit down because you don't understand. This is fake then. This becomes a gesture. This becomes as powerful as meaningful as somebody like Donald Trump doing it. Just put your shit down. You don't understand yet. Don't put your fist up until you understand. Until you move like this is real. Because if you're out here moving like this ain't real, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not telling you to be a coward. Of course, we don't do no coward shit. We don't do no scary shit over here. But why are you into weird ass degenerate behavior? Why? These are facts. These are facts. JB says, sadly, this nigga gets more attention than Javion McGee out of North Carolina and Dominic Stewart out of Mississippi. These are facts. These are facts. Okay? They're going to make sure you don't pay attention to those things. Y'all know I made a video about Javion. I ain't made one about Dominic, but we understand the black man's plight in this country and black people's plight by extension in this country. We understand that because women are not off the hook. Breonna Taylor, you see what I'm saying? You're not off the hook. Okay? You're not off the hook. There's a black people problem here. So what they are going to do is make, again, Puff the face of all degeneracy, and that then justifies how they treat black people as a whole. That then justifies that. It's just all a part of it's an ongoing propaganda machine. And I can understand that and fuck Puff at the same time. I can do both. A lot of people act like you can't do both. A lot of people act like that. But you can. And if you don't believe me, just watch. I'll show you exactly how to do it. Fuck Puff and fuck this system. Because I know how they're going to treat him because he's a black man. You see what I'm saying? You do both things. You do both things and not sit here and act like his behaviors aren't egregious, because they are. Because, nigga, you got money. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You're a black man with money at that level. Jay-Z better watch his back. Jay-Z better watch his back. That's what Jay-Z better do. Jay-Z better watch his motherfucking back. Okay? He had better. Because they may be coming on up after his ass next. Because when it comes to hip-hop billionaire, that was a space that was for Dr. Dre. That was a space that was for Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Kanye at one time. Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Kanye, and Puff. Those were the black men billionaires that were connected to hip-hop, connected to rap, connected to the hip-hop culture, if you will. And see, they down. I mean, Dr. Dre was able to get up out of his claims of domestic violence. He was able to get up out of there. You seen they chopped him down at the knees, basically. So he out of there. Puff is up out of there. So now the only two that'll be left will be Dre and Jay-Z, and they better watch out. I don't know if they were ever at those parties, but I imagine they were at those parties. So them motherfuckers better be watching out. They better be watching out. That's what they better do. They better be watching the fuck out. They better be watching their back and doing everything they can to insulate themselves if they were at those types of parties as well. If they got footage on them that may be in these tapes that the FBI or whoever the fuck, they're going to go through those tapes. They're going to go through them. And they're going to release them to the public. All the ones with black people in there, they're releasing them to the public. Or at least they're releasing the information as to what they find. They'll call it the findings. They're going to release those things to make black men look how they want black men to look at all times. So even if we let these niggas get money, look at them. That's the, overall message here is it doesn't matter whether you have a poor, lower class black man and, maybe in a gang or some shit like that. It doesn't matter whether they out here selling drugs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they amass a lot of money. They're still fucking degenerates. They cannot be reformed. They are going to be uncivilized. They're going to be unhinged. And this just reinforces that idea. No matter what you do, no matter what these niggas do, no matter how much money they got, they're all fucking degenerate. And what they're going to also do is, by extension, they're going to make the hip hop culture also degenerate. This is what hip hop breeds. They're going to do all of that. They're going to do all of that. So be ready for that. Be ready to be already ahead of the game and understand that's what they're going to do. So that way you're prepared and you don't let the propaganda, affect your mind to where now you're looking at your people the same way the white man and his mama look at your people. Because we know who the real degenerates are. We understand who they are in this society. Not saying that it makes black people immune from being degenerate, but we know who the degenerates are in the society. It just so happens that they have an FBI, they have a CIA, they have a government machine, they have a system that can kind of rinse them off and baptize them, if you will. And they can become, great people again. They're able to do that, or they're able to hide all of their degenerate behavior. They're able to do all of that. So I know that was a little bit long-winded, but that's what I think about Diddy, or Puff rather. I'm really trying to get away from, which I never liked calling him Diddy. That sounds gay as fuck to me anyway. I never really respected that shit. I do Puff a whole lot better. But I may actually clip that and upload it as its own separate video or its own separate entity. I may actually do that. I may do that. Any more questions? That was long as fuck. My apologies. Anybody got any more questions? Wait, he knew this in March? Okay. Nikki says they said Diddy, god damn it. See, just read. That's what be fucking me up. Reading the fucking shit. They said Puff's lawyers told him he would be arrested in September. He knew this back in March, apparently. Okay. He didn't prepare right for it. Well, looks like to me he should have took his ass to Bali then. He should have took his ass over there with Russell Simmons then if he wanted to get away from it. If he wanted to get away from it, he should have took his ass over there then. Okay. He should have. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Again, these rich niggas, I understand how we look at rich people as we look at them as intelligent. By extension of their money, they are smarter than us. They're better than us. They, y'all put them up on pedestals. These motherfuckers is dumb. Okay? They're dumb. And they have the resources to not be dumb. And they still dumb. And I just disagree with that. I disagree with that in every way possible. Give me that type money and see what happens. Just see what happens. Give a real motherfucker that type of bread and see what happens. Like, man, please. Please. Wildin'. But y'all, that's all the fuck I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Mad love to y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you're not following me on social media, those links will be in, not in this, because I had to start this link over, so it probably ain't in this description box, but y'all know where to find me, okay? Go to one of my other videos, or my last video maybe, and the links will be in that description box to follow me on social media. I post on there regularly. We're still going to do the Kamala interview that she did with the black journalist. We're also going to take care of that. So y'all stay tuned for that. Subscribe to both channels. We never know what's going to happen here. I will be continuing to upload material of my old channel, my original channel. I'll be continuing to, if y'all notice, I think I may have over 100 videos uploaded over there now. I'm going to do all the live streams, going to put all the live streams back up over there. And I'm also uploading stuff to Patreon as well. So I'm doing them simultaneously at the times that I get home and I have time to actually do it. So, if you're on my old channel, if you subscribe to my old, or my original channel rather, as you'll be seeing those video counts grow. And the live stream counts grow because I'll be making those public as I go through here and look at certain titles and things like that. And again, some of it will be on Patreon, which is where I'm actually going to have to probably put the first half of this conversation we had about Angela Rye on my Patreon as well. So there is activity happening over there. If you're not on my Patreon, that link is in not this description box, but another one. Just look at one of my other videos, and that link is in there. So if you want to show some support and see some other content, click on that, okay? Matt, love to y'all. Shout out Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. I'm out.